All right, everybody, it's finally time. We're talking about Rombert Zombert 2. Now, you're probably wondering, where is Halloween 1? Well, you can go listen to the podcast we did 2 years ago called Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. It's episode 198. And on that episode, we cover John Carpenter's Halloween, Robert Zombert's first Halloween movie, and the Blumhouse David Gordon Green Halloween movie. So that's the Halloween, Halloween, Halloween episode. Today, we're covering Halloween 2, which we were supposed to record last year, but then the podcast stopped happening. So we are doing it today. Halloween 2, and tomorrow, Halloween 2 on Halloween Day. That's right, everybody. An All Hallows Eve. So historically, we were very unkind to Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie. I didn't like that they spent so much time creating a backstory for this monster that in the original movie represents fear and doesn't particularly need a motive, in my opinion. I really love the first Halloween, and that you don't get any explanation or motivation is good. He's a killing machine. He is fear. Halloween 2, it doesn't dip into that backstory very much. We kind of still get how the Laurie Strode is the sister to Michael Myers in this, but that's, I guess, from John Carpenter's kind of outline of the story. Famously, John Carpenter hates that he did that particular story point because it ruined all of the sequels afterwards, and it's a story arc that basically every other movie had to hit, except for the new one, which is very good because it doesn't take that weird motivation that they added to the franchise. Now, I generally like Rob Zombie and his grungy aesthetic for his horror movies. I don't really like the Halloween movies, unfortunately, just because he's kind of hacking and slashing on, good movies. But I'm a pretty big fan of all of his original work. Obviously, House of a Thousand Corpses and the sequels are fun. What's that other one? Lords of Salem? That one I like. I like Rob Zombie generally. And I think I said this in the review for Halloween. The guy doesn't know how to write a female character. And it's very clear in this one, although they do try a little bit. In this one. It's just unlikable character after unlikable character. And one of the biggest unlikable characters is our friend Dr. Loomis, played by Malcolm McDowell, who I love in these movies. He is, to me, the best part is whenever Malcolm McDowell is on the screen. To me, this really is one of his great characters. He really embodies the shitty profiteer off death writing a book, and his story arc basically is about him exploiting the Michael Myers murders because he was his doctor for so long and then did the murdering spree, and he's now written a book that he's making money off of. Now, I have seen this one before. I watched it back when we did Halloween 1. And this one, to me, is more memorable than the first one, too, because, again, it doesn't spend so much time with the backstory that I find so unnecessary. It just kind of dives into the gruesomeness, and this one, again, is a big gore fest. And I think a lot of that works for this kind of movie, this kind of gritty retelling of Halloween. And I do appreciate that he tried to make a movie about the trauma that Laurie and Annie went through, and how Dr. Loomis was, and Dr. Loomis's story arc after first one, how he wrote a book and then realized he's the only one that can stop Michael Myers. So these three kind of characters have to deal with the fallout of the first movie. If you don't remember what happened in that one, at the end of the movie, it's pretty much exactly like the original. They shoot him, they don't think he's dead, and then he cuts up Laurie Strode's friend Annie, who she's now living with in this one, and she's all scarred up. And that's another character that they actually do use pretty well, is the Annie character, how much stronger she is than Laurie, even though she arguably took more damage than Laurie, at least physical damage. But this movie is just so Rob Zombie, it's Michael Myers killing people at a strip club. At one point, one of the bouncers goes outside to take the garbage out, but the garbage was already outside. It was by the door. But then he walks 5 feet to the dumpster. If you already were taking it out to the back door, why wouldn't you just take it to the dumpster? It makes no sense. It makes no sense that the garbage would be there. It's literally only there so that Michael Myers can kill a guy outside a strip club. As Dr. Loomis is selling the book, he's on Chris Hardwick's talk show and all this stuff. He's exploiting this death. And in the book, you find out that Laurie Strode is the sister of Michael Myers. And I think that's a much better reveal than in the Carpenter movie where they're oh, she's her sister, and it was in a secret sealed file that you never knew about this entire time. Eventually, after just a massacre of this town and killing basically everyone that you like, he ends up abducting Lori and taking her to the shed in the woods. And this is where Dr. Loomis is like, I'm the only one that can do this. I know him. I can lure him out. And they lure him out. And I watched the director's cut this time. The first time I didn't watch the director's cut. They have very different endings. In the theatrical version, Dr. Loomis lures out Michael Myers. He's killed, but then Laurie is wearing the Michael Myers mask and has turned into the new Michael Myers, I guess. That's how that one ends. But in this one, it's different because they lure Michael Myers out. He starts talking for some reason. Don't let him talk. Of course, don't let him talk. He's not wearing the mask. It looks like Sabretooth from X-Men because it's the same guy. And Laurie comes out. She's not wearing the mask and is shot also. And that's the end of her story arc. She's at peace. I think that's a little better ending. I hate the shit when they become... That's why I don't like the Michael Myers. That's why I don't like Return of Michael Myers or any of the sequels, because I don't like when someone else takes over for Michael Myers. Halloween 2, I mean, I don't love it. I don't love either of them. I think this one's maybe slightly better than the first one, but not by much. I'll give it 3 stars, but it's a very light 3 stars. I don't know. I just don't think Rob Zombie was the right person for Halloween. I think Rob Zombie may have been the right person for Friday the 13th. I think that's more scummy. I think you could make that more scummy. But I guess we'll never see that. Yeah, that's Halloween 2. Let me know. You probably didn't like this, but if you did, let me know in the comments. This is a fairly reviled film. Don't forget to follow me on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Movie Epidemic, and you can see us tomorrow for the final episode of Spookytober 2020. We're talking about John Carpenter's Halloween 2, so I will see you guys then.
Why don't you play us something, baby? Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start? I don't feel so good.